Pornography is a weapon in the hands of the adversary to keep us from growing in affection for God. And love your neighbor as yourself. I mean, this is what the Great Commission flows from. Lay down your life to lead others to life in Jesus, to enjoy and exalt God in all of his glory. Like that's what we've been called to do, to selflessly, sacrificially give our lives to lead others to Jesus. And the reality is, when we are giving in to temptations with pornography, we are, one, not loving the people in those images as ourselves. Like we're using, exploiting, dishonoring. Even the connection, when I think, I'll just add the connection in Global Mission with a number of people around the world who are trafficked and then used in the production of pornography. Like, oh, we're people who are called to lay down, crucify our flesh, our desires in every way in order to love them. These are men and women created in the image of God for communion with God. And we're on this earth as ambassadors of that God to lead them to his love. So to lay down our lives, which I would add, when I use that language, lay down our lives, 3 billion people unreached with the gospel, they're not going to be reached without sacrifice, without cost, without dying to all kinds of desires in this world, crucifying the flesh in all kinds of ways. And God is inviting us to specifically, as we think about pornography, crucify our desires for pleasure in ways that go outside of his good design, and to say far more than I want to look at this image, go down this path. I want to see people come to know the love and the grace and the mercy and the redemption that are found in God alone. And I want to live my life toward that. I want to lay down my life toward that. And that's my prayer, especially when I look at next generation, although I know it's every age struggles, and when it comes to pornography, every age. I just see so many students and young adults sidelined who are a massive force for the spread of the gospel in the world, which is where, so when I start to look at where we're at in the world, one, we do have the greatest news in the world. We have the gospel of Jesus Christ that has power to save, that has power not just to free from the penalty of sin, but from the power of sin. The gospel is that good. So for us to believe that in our lives and step into that in our lives and take all the steps we need to vigilantly fight to see the power of sin overcome by Jesus in us. And then what a message we have to proclaim to the world. We have the greatest news in the world. God will save you from all your sin, from the penalty and power of all your sin. Like, this is the gospel. And I would add, even in this time and place we're in, we have more opportunities to spread this gospel in the world than ever before in history. So 3 billion people who are unreached, and at the same time, more opportunities than ever before in history to reach them. Like, I think about Paul in the Bible. Like, it took him months to travel from this place to the next on boat, and they shipwrecked on the way. Like, it was so, we can get anywhere in the world in a day. Like, he couldn't have even dreamed of like a machine that will take you through the air and put you down anywhere in the world in a day. Or I think about him writing letters, and it takes weeks to get it sent off, and however long for people to actually receive it. And we have a device in our pockets that we can communicate around the world with people in real time, in multiple languages, like technology. So how can we use this device for the spread of God's glory in the world? Like, we have more opportunities today, travel, technology, globalization of today's marketplace, than ever before in history. No era in church history has had the opportunities we have today. And I just see an adversary who's doing everything he can to keep us from stepping into those opportunities. And I want to say, let's step into them to the full. Let's not hold back in any way from all that God's calling us to. And let's fight sin in our lives for their sake, for the sake of the nation. Let's fight sin in our lives with the power of the gospel as we go and spread the power of that gospel. I think about my own life. I want my life to count. I've got so little time here. I'm just a vapor, just here for a second, like gone the next. I wanted to count maximally for this purpose: enjoyment of God in all of his glory, exaltation of God in all of his glory among all the nations.